and welcome everyone. My name is Mark. So glad you joined us on the Weekday Wagers on this wonderful Thursday afternoon. Look, so much is going on. I am so excited about today's show simply because if you haven't been tailing Rob and I, and forget DG, DG's going to be back on the Weekend Wager show with us tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern, right here on Coaching Company. So the three of us will be back. Safe travels getting home, DG, by the way. But enough about DG, because right now it's about Mark and Robby. And what we have been doing with the Daily Dingers is just absolutely amazing. I can't wait to recap what happened for us yesterday. So enough of me. Let's get the guy who gave out free home run plays that still is mind-blowing to me. Robby, how the hell are you? And what's going on today?
I'm doing great. The Shohei Ohtani jersey's dirty right now, or I would have worn it today. But what a hell of a call, saying he would hit a home run at his first at bat. And he did. The best line I found was plus 400 at ESPN Bet, just for him to hit the first home run. So I cashed that. Aaron Judge did Aaron Judge things as well. And I believe you hit a home run as well yesterday.
You know, I did. And it was so unexpected. Wait, it wasn't unexpected. All right. Goldschmidt had a hell of a history against this guy. What was unexpected was that Paul Goldschmidt didn't even make the starting lineup last night. He came into seventh inning as a pinch hitter. First pitch that he sees, he takes it yard. I mean, you can't make it up. And so for me, that was my Ohtani moment that you were having last night with the, first at bat type thing. I couldn't believe it. I was ecstatic, and I'm excited about today's slate. So, we'll get to that in a minute. If anybody in the chat has some dinger picks, absolutely get them into the chat for us. We've been having a blast with these. Additionally, just so you know, Rob, I took everybody on that list yesterday and put them into a hit parlay. Plus 1187 cashed that ticket too. So, we had a great day last night.
You would have gotten the saloon on that one. Could have been on a Friday.
I think, except there's 5 people on the dingers and we can only have 4 for the saloon. So it's still, but a cash ticket is a cash ticket.
Hey,
so I'll take
plus
that.
1100. I'm never going to complain about a plus 1100 cash ever.
And if you are looking for all the stats to kind of give you the edge on your betting game and make you a bettor, go ahead. Go to justastatsports.com. Use code BTT30. Sign up. Get your first 30 days for free. I promise you, you will be pleased with all the information. And we are updating that site on the daily. Can't wait for the rollouts to start happening. You'll appreciate it. More importantly, your bankroll appreciate it, because Rob's parlay picks are up there. I've got my Yerfy, Nerfy plays, the run line cashes that we've been hitting left and right. Get over there, give it a try. It's for free. You get the first 30 days for free. So it's basically, we're giving you free money. Get over there, give it a try. But Rob, as we start every Weekday Wager show, got to ask you, what's the word?
Entertaining. That Toronto-Florida game last night was pure entertainment. It lived up to the hype. Maybe not for Toronto fans, but as far as just the action on the ice, and man, there were jerseys thrown, there were people crying, there were people leaving. It had just about everything. And the thing is, it's not over. The series isn't over. Like, Toronto can still win this thing.
What are you talking about? It's not over. This thing is done. When you have Toronto fans ripping off their jerseys on their home ice to throw them in disgust, it's over. But I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, keep going.
No, you're good. I was pretty much done. And if you're a fan of Mitch Marner, and I guess you did have to throw that jersey on the ice. What a terrible performance by Mitch last night.
And you and I were talking as we were waiting to get the show started. I think my biggest takeaway from last night was not just the way that Toronto got beat and how bad. I mean, when you played that poorly in all aspects of the game, you're going to get beat badly. So the 6-1, score wasn't as big a surprise to me. The biggest surprise was the lack of urgency, the lack of heart, the the way that they just kind of got bulldogged into everything, and the absolute breakdown that is Max Domi. I mean, what the hell is going on with this guy? Where he's taking slashing penalties because he can't outmuscle the Florida Panthers. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Were you able to catch some of that?
Yeah, and it's just mental. It's what Florida does. They're cheap, they're dirty, everybody knows it. But you kind of have to do that Mighty Ducks thing where it's like just take a fall, let them get the penalty, and live to fight another day. That's just what Florida does, and Toronto played right into their hands. And it's not going to get any easier when you go to Florida. They've already proven the last two games how hard it is to win there. But I mean, I still have hope for you, Toronto. I really do, but it's very, very slim now. I did hear too yesterday. I always listen to the Ice guys after we get off, and I guess Austin Matthews has a wrist ligament injury, so a lot of him not scoring. I think a lot of it has to do with that. But still, man, you're there to score some goals. You got to figure it out. You got teammates who are beat up and injured just as bad as well, and they're still trying to make things happen. So
Yeah,
yeah, there's some hope, but it's very little.
that's a great point, because at what point are you trying to play through some pain versus that pain is actually creating a liability for your team with you on the ice? Because if especially a guy like Matthews, if he can't shoot the puck, because his wrist is killing him every time he flexes it or does something. The ligament, I mean, that's not it sounds like a very minor injury. It's a painful one.
Yeah,
And at what point do you say, hey, listen, maybe I don't go? Because I know he took heat last year for not being
yeah.
out there. And how much is that kind of weighing in the back of his mind that he has to play through this? And maybe it's a liability for his team because of last year.
Right. I think he was injured too, even last year. I know he had something going on even around the playoffs last year as well.
Yeah.
That went undisclosed. I don't know if it ever came out what was
No,
actually wrong with
it
him.
came out. It came out
Did it?
after the playoffs were over. Yeah, he was diagnosed with a broken heart along with the rest of Toronto. So that's our hockey stuff for today.
That sets you up for that one.
That was way too easy. But I know you found something else today that kind of caught your eye. What was that about?
So it looks like the NFL may actually let their players participate in the 2028 Olympics for a flag football league. So that's pretty interesting. I would like to gauge. I would love to see if anybody would be interested in that. I would. It's kind of like a glorified Pro Bowl, except you're actually playing for an Olympic medal. The way it's kind of broke down is each team will get to designate one player to send to the fantasy football league. And of course, if you play like in your designated hometown, like hockey, you go play for your home country. You can also, in addition, a team's designated international player can go play for his home country as well. So that's pretty intriguing. What are your thoughts on NFL getting into the Olympics and doing some flag football?
I think that this is probably the best thing that the NFL could get involved with, simply because it has so much to do as far as rehabbing its image over the CTEs. Concussions and everybody going through concussion protocol. It happens on the weekly basis in the NFL. And I think having a professional flag football league, right? That's because that's what we're talking about. Sorry, there's 10 groups who want to start a professional flag football league, and then have NFL teams participate in the Olympics because it's now an Olympic sport. So it's kind of like a merging of these two professional leagues. I think is the best thing the NFL can do to rehab its concussion image. This is flag football is football without the lawsuits. There's no cracked helmets. There's no devastating hits. You're just putting pure athleticism and quarterback highlights that are tailor-made for social media. I mean, everybody's going to be with their little short video clips, on these incredible catches. I just think it can't happen fast enough for the NFL. And that's my take.
Could you imagine a team of like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, which I mean, they've already been on the same team before at LSU, but where they're at now in their career, CD Lamb, just think of that trio on a flag football league against other countries. That would be It's like dream team-esque is kind of what I think of when I think of that possibility.
Oh, absolutely. But I also love the fact that they're limiting the NFL's participation on those teams. So it's a chance for NFL players to really highlight and put the spotlight on some other players who knows, really? This could become the NBA D League sort of for the NFL. You know, we've had that conversation recently in our text message chains, is that what happens to these teams that tank for lottery positions and, you know, there's no real recourse for it? Well, having players or, you know, having other options, I guess. Not that you could have a flag football team make the leap into the professional NFL. That's not what I'm saying. But it certainly does open the door for those players to kind of start moving towards the league, which is not a bad
paycheck too. You get
it
paid,
is a paycheck.
So
it is a paycheck.
Medal.
And more importantly, there's a women's professional flag football league that's also in the works alongside the men's. So I think it's a great way to expand the sport and to be inclusive of both sides.
I agree. I hope it goes through. I hope they vote yes on it, because I mean, the Pro Bowl is a joke now. You and I were talking about it. It's a complete joke. I mean, I did like it when I was a kid when they actually played football against each other, but I don't watch the combine. I'm not watching skills competition. That's just not what I'm going to take a Saturday or Sunday off to do.
Well, I'll tell you what, there are some things that I will watch, and I can't wait, because I can't wait to see what you are on for tonight. So let's jump into our picks. What do you got going?
Yeah, so you and I talked last night how when Florida did score like the first 3 or 4 goals, we're like, are these people real people? Who are these people scoring goals for Florida? Like, so tonight, I'm going a little bit different. I'm going to go Logan Stankoven, 1+ point, plus 170. If you watch NHL, you know who Logan is. He played for the Dallas Stars. He was a part of that trade with Carolina for them to get Mikko Rantanen. But Logan has been quietly doing really well against Washington. He has a point in 4 of his last 6 games versus the Capitals, and that's just dating back to April 2nd, so not that far off. And in the playoffs, he's played 8 games. He has 3 goals, 5 points, and 9 hits. I like the young gun to step up tonight in what could be another elimination game if the Capitals don't figure out their offense as well.
I love this look. I really do. Stankoven is one of those guys that is just the classic NHL workhorse. You know what I mean? He's just there, and he finds himself in very unique positions. And the fact that you can get his point play at plus 170, usually you got to parlay a couple people to get to that number. And with this guy's track record, I love this look. I really do. I am not staying on the ice. I am going with my pick to the diamond. And we're going to take Tampa Bay and Toronto, a beautiful little nerfy, no-run first inning at minus 110. Look, this is a gold mine right now as far as this game is concerned. You got Zach Lotto for Tampa Bay, who comes in with a first inning whip of 1.11, and Kevin the Gasman Gossman, even better at 0.97. These two pitchers command the zone early, and they get the luxury of facing 2 teams that have sputtered coming out of the gates historically this season. Toronto hitting just over 200 in the first over the last 30 days. Tampa Bay dead last in road nerfy success. So I love this spot. They just don't put runs across in the first inning. The metrics are in our favor. Both pitchers have been reliable early, and at minus 110, I'll take this all day, every day.
I like that. Are they on their last game too of their series, or they get to move on to another series after today?
Yeah,
I like that, because they usually start off slow when it's the final game of the series. So I really like that look too.
Yeah, and you know what? There's a little connection between Toronto and I that has nothing to do with hockey. See the Toronto hat right there? I acquired that one last year in Toronto, where I saw the same Kevin Gossman pitch 7 innings against the Rangers and was absolutely dominating. So yeah, a little heart connection with myself and Gossman, keeping things nice and settled. So I'm sure I have no problem backing Kevin here. But
nice.
Let's get to why everybody really watches us. Besides these incredible picks, we have got today's Daily Dinger. And look at this list. I saw this, and the first thing I said was, at what point do you not play Shohei Ohtani? Is there a floor for you where you're like, that's just way too low, it's not even worth the risk?
When it's minus, I mean, if it's minus, I will probably hold off. I remember, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, it was like minus 110 for him to get a home run. I'm like, that's just insane. Plus 160, I'll probably put a unit on plus 160 because it's Shohei. It's also his bobblehead night tonight as well. So keep that in your back pocket.
That's the bobblehead narrative that you seem to do so well with. So here's our today's list. We got Shohei Ohtani at plus 160, Freddie Freeman at plus 350, the Rook at plus 360, and I do have to make one correction. Dalton Varsho got scratched early. He got early. It was an earlier scratch for this game. However, it came in after production had already started on the graphics, and so he's included in this. He could pull a Goldschmidt like yesterday. Don't know. At plus 400, it's certainly worth it. His picture's on the graphic for a reason. And then we got Jake Berger at plus 525. Rob, who are you going with today? And better yet, let me ask you this. Who are we cashing your ticket with?
Oh, tonight we are eating nothing but burger bombs for dinner. I'm going with Jake Berger because he has an excellent matchup versus Hunter Brown. 4 plate appearances, 3 hits, and 1 home run. A little nugget, too, his hit prop is only listed at minus 135. So just for him to get a hit is definitely playable at minus 135. The last time I bet Jake Berger, it was earlier in April. I was bored on a Saturday afternoon, and I put him and Marcus Semien in a home run parlay, and it cashed at plus 2,200. So got that going for me. He's also a devout Catholic, and I read an article on him today that he said, new Pope, new me. So every time he gets on base, he does that Pope wave or whatever every time he gets on base now. So I'm feeling a burger bomb tonight at plus 525.
Well, look, just as long as he doesn't need the Pope mobile to kind of escort him around the bases, because I know he doesn't run real fast either. So I love that look for him. And I am going, it's Shohei's bobblehead night. I'm actually going with Freddie Freeman today. Look, Freeman doesn't have a home run against, I'm trying to remember the A's pitcher name now, and it's escaping me. Doesn't have a home run off him. Has faced him a couple times. Hasn't done very well. I just think that with Shohei getting as hot as he is, Freeman is next in line. So they'll pitch around Shohei. You can't pitch around the entire lineup. And Freeman is in a position in that lineup to just mash. And when you have a batter as good as Freeman is, facing pitchers who have to throw strikes because there's no more room on the bases, it's a matchup made in heaven. How's that for a Pope reference?
Hey, yeah.
You like that?
I did.
I love Freeman here at plus 350. I'm going to take a quick look over. Let's see.
They're facing Bido for the A's.
Okay.
I remember Bito's first name, but they're facing him tonight. That's who they're playing against.
So I do have to apologize. And you know what? Let's do this. So those are our daily dinger picks. And I do have to apologize. My best friend, Joe, said 15 minutes, 0 acknowledgement of the chat. Wonder if the show has a new direction. And Joe, first of all, I can't even begin to tell you how much we all appreciate your support and you being here each day for us. I can also tell you that me sitting here in this host chair, it's a brand new thing. And there are buttons and things that I have to do and push. And normally I have my eye all over the chat, will acknowledge the chat and have that interaction. I can't wait for DG to get back here because DG does what DG does. And I can have my interaction with the chat, which is something that I love to do. When I'm sitting in this chair, it becomes harder for me. And if you saw the end of yesterday's show, you know why I can't be looking at the chat and have to focus on the other things, because if I am more focused on the chat, I can't do things like this and say, thank you guys so much for joining Rob and I. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Be kind to one another. Let's cash these tickets and make sure you're back here tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern with me, Rob, and DG in the host chair. 2 p.m. Eastern for Weekend Wagers. Thanks a lot. Be safe.